London, 1847. A surgeon slices through a patient's leg so fast that in under 3 minutes, 3 people are dead. The patient on the table, the assistant holding the limb, and a spectator watching from the gallery. All from a single amputation. This is the only surgery in history with a 300% mortality rate, and the man wielding the knife is considered a pioneer of modern medicine. Robert Liston stands 6'2" in an era when most men barely reach 5'6". He's broad-shouldered, commanding, and terrifyingly fast with a surgical blade. His colleagues call him the fastest knife in the West End. His patients call him their only hope, because in the 1840s, before anesthesia, before antiseptics, before germ theory, surgical speed isn't just impressive. It's the only thing standing between you and death by agony. Picture this. You're a patient in pre-anesthesia London. Your leg is gangrenous, rotting, killing you from the inside out. You have two choices: die slowly from infection or face the knife. If you choose surgery, you'll be conscious for every second. 4 strong men will pin you to a wooden table. You'll watch the surgeon select his blade. And then the cutting begins. Most surgeons take 15 to 20 minutes to amputate a limb. 15 to 20 minutes of screaming, thrashing, unimaginable pain. Patients die from shock before the surgeon finishes. They bleed out mid-operation. Some literally die of fear, their hearts simply stopping from the trauma. But Robert Liston? He can take your leg off in 2.5 minutes. He operates in an amphitheater at University College Hospital, where medical students and curious spectators pack the galleries. They come to watch Liston work because he's not just fast, he's theatrical. He begins each operation the same way, turning to his audience and announcing, "Time me, gentlemen." His left hand grips the patient's limb, his right hand holds the blade. He completes entire amputations so quickly that observers claim the saw sounds like a single stroke, like ripping canvas. His signature move? He holds the bloody knife between his teeth while using both hands to saw through bone. It's horrifying. It's spectacular. It saves lives, until it doesn't. The legendary operation happens on an ordinary morning. A young man lies on the table, his infected leg needing immediate removal. The gallery fills with observers. Liston calls out, "Time me, gentlemen," and begins. His knife flashes. He's moving with his characteristic lightning speed, so fast that his hands blur. Too fast. His blade slices through the patient's leg and keeps going, cutting through the fingers of his young assistant, who's holding the limb steady. The assistant will die days later of gangrene. Infection from the wound in the pre-antiseptic era is essentially a death sentence. But Liston doesn't stop. He can't stop. In surgery, hesitation kills. He continues sawing through bone with such violent speed that his knife slashes the coattails of a distinguished spectator standing too close. The spectator, believing he's been stabbed, that the blade has pierced his body, drops dead of shock on the spot. The patient dies post-operatively from infection. 3 people enter the operating theater alive. 0 leave that way. A 300% mortality rate. The only surgery in medical history with such a distinction. But here's what makes this story more than just a gruesome footnote. Robert Liston isn't a butcher. He's a hero. His speed saves hundreds of lives in an era when surgery is essentially legalized torture. He develops new surgical techniques. He invents specialized forceps still used today. He fights for admission of poor patients to hospitals. When other surgeons refuse to operate on working-class patients, Liston treats everyone. And on December 21st, 1846, Robert Liston makes history again, this time for the right reasons. He performs the first surgery in Europe using ether anesthesia, amputating a patient's leg while the man sleeps, pain-free. After the operation, Liston turns to his audience and says something remarkable. "This Yankee dodge, gentlemen, beats mesmerism hollow." He recognizes immediately that his greatest skill, his legendary speed, is about to become obsolete. Anesthesia means surgeons can work slowly, carefully, precisely. They can take 15 minutes, or 30, or an hour. Patients won't die of shock because they're unconscious. Speed no longer matters. Liston dies just 2 years later, in 1847, at age 53. The cause? An aneurysm, a weakness in the blood vessel wall. Ironically, something no amount of surgical speed could fix. He lives just long enough to see the dawn of modern surgery, but not long enough to see how completely it transforms medicine. Think about what surgery meant in his era. No germ theory means surgeons operate in street clothes, never washing their hands, moving directly from dissecting corpses to cutting into living patients. No blood transfusions means patients bleed out on the table. No antibiotics means a simple cut can kill you through infection. In this nightmare world, Robert Liston's speed is genuine mercy. The difference between 2 minutes of hell and 20. That disastrous 300% mortality operation. It's an outlier, a perfect storm of speed and tragedy. The vast majority of Liston's patients survive when others would have died screaming under slower surgeons' blades. Today, surgeons prize precision over speed. Operations last hours. We have anesthesiologists, surgical nurses, monitoring equipment, sterilization protocols. The idea of a surgeon holding a bloody knife in his teeth while sawing through bone seems barbaric, medieval. But every surgical innovation we take for granted, anesthesia, antiseptics, blood transfusions, antibiotics, emerged within a single century. For all of human history before that, surgery meant conscious agony. And in that context, Robert Liston wasn't reckless. He was revolutionary. His 300% mortality rate operation becomes legend precisely because it's so unusual. It's the exception that proves the rule. Liston's speed typically saved lives, not ended them. That one horrific day represents the razor's edge Victorian surgeons walked, the impossibly thin line between heroism and catastrophe, between salvation and slaughter. Was he a brilliant surgeon, working with impossible limitations? Or did his showmanship and need for speed ultimately make him dangerous? The man who could amputate a leg in 2.5 minutes performed the surgery that killed 3 people, and also the surgery that changed medicine forever. Sometimes the line between pioneer and cautionary tale is thinner than a surgeon's blade. If you found this disturbing, and you should, subscribe. I release a new hidden piece of history every week, and trust me, medical history gets so much worse than this.